you'll burn a starter up in a matter of months. So always remember to push your compression releases down, fire it up, and it automatically kicks them back out. Batteries in the front mounted here. You got your negative side on the left, positive side on the right. All the cables run underneath the bike. 6-speed transmission, 1 down, 5 up. Open belt primary. It's an Ultima open belt primary. All your clutches, clutch basket and clutches are all behind here. Once you run this thing, I'm going to say 100 miles, maybe 50 to 100 miles, these clutches will break themselves in. They'll wear in, seat in. You take this row of bolts out right here, and you'll see a clutch basket. There's a center bolt with a nut around it. You just loosen that nut, then you tighten that bolt up a little bit, and then tighten the nut back up. That adjusts your clutches. It's also a hydraulic clutch, so it'll seat itself in pretty quick. On this side, this is your axle block cover. Jerk these bolts out. You got a solid axle all the way through it with a nut on the end of it. You'll have to loosen that nut to adjust your chain. I'll show you that on the other side. You have a set screw right in behind here on the axle block. It's an Allen head set screw. So you loosen your axle nut and you'll set your tension on your chain as it wears with that, and you tighten your axle nut back. Of course, your brake light, running light here. Let's go around to the other side and show you a couple more things. That's a 360 rear tire. This side here, same thing, axle block. Take the screws out, loosen the nut on the axle, and then you have a set screw that goes in horizontally here. That you'll tighten up the tension on your chain as it wears. I put you a brand new chain on here versus the one that I had on it when I mocked it up. It's a real tight clearance against the lip of these 360 tires. They have a real wide lip on them, so they will wear just a little bit right here on this exterior rubber lip. Every one of them does it. It's natural. You also have a sprocket rotor. Your drive sprocket is also your brake rotor. So your rear brake system, which is here, comes back into your sprocket rotor system here. So there's not like a separate rotor, separate sprocket. It's all one piece. Here's your starter system. On the other side where your key is, and we'll go through this, actually starting it up and stuff, but when you turn your key from off position to on position with no lights, the first click, this is your starter button right here. You got to push in on this button. There's no controls on the bars. The key doesn't engage it. The key just makes it live at the starter. So you click your key back one click, and then you push this button in real hard. If you only push it halfway in, it only halfway engages your starter. It makes a real odd noise, like a whining noise or something. You got to really push this button in hard. It totally engages the starter. That's how you start it. This section of the frame right here, this is a solid tank. This down tube on each side is plated front and rear, and that's your oil tank. You have your oil lines coming out here, as you can see. Oil lines coming in here, and you got oil lines coming in halfway down. So you got like a breather, a feed line, or a turn line. So anyway, this section of your frame is actually your oil tank. You'll understand it when you see the lines. This is just heat shield because of the exhaust system. This little section right here is your hydraulic clutch system. Hydraulic clutch comes down, comes into the bottom section right here, and that's where this is just a bleeder valve for your hydraulic clutch. If you ever need to bleed it like you'd bleed brakes or something, get the air out of the line, that's where you do it right here. Exhaust system, real simple, 18, 20-inch exhaust, tied together, really loud. I'll show you that in a little bit. This is your oil pressure gauge. When you fire this thing up, it runs 20 to 40 pound oil pressure at this point. Here's your air breather, intake, carburetor. That's our train system across the street. S&S, Shorty, carburetor system. This is your fuel filter. It's your fuel filter coming in off your petcock valve. Fuel valve goes through the fuel filter, comes in the bottom of your carburetor. Here's your throttle and your idle. Cables coming in. The one thing